Hello, welcome to Simon Kawa channel. I hope you're doing well. I'm here to talk about a job that I left recently. Well, they let me go, but in my view is I quit because at certain point I decided not to do what they're asking me to do, especially because they were asking me to break the law to their advantage. It happens so much about temporary drivers, agency drivers, and new people who don't know their level. Okay, main point about this, to begin with, they had fraudulent training. When you're recruiting you, they're teaching you stuff which is totally different from what they're doing as a company in practice. Many people do this, but this was the extreme, very extreme. They're teaching you do this, do that, do this, do that. But the day you start, you find that everyone's doing the wrong thing. So you wonder why do they bother to tell you, to train you? So the training team are not seen at all on operations. I think that should change in tracking. Whoever is standing up telling you when you get on the job, this is what you need to do, this is how you're gonna do it, they should be involved in to see that people are doing it. So my first point why I actually decided to leave as soon as I felt safe with my monies and where I'm going to head after is the training is fraudulent training, gangster style recruitment. Yeah, has anyone got a problem with this? Is anyone gonna get a problem with it? Like, I will leave that part at that. They teach you things which they're not going to actually enforce. So the one who's teaching is never seen at all when you start the job. So you can't actually relate with, I thought you said we do this, but I can see everyone's, Okay, I had 3 major issues with these guys, and all of them, they were trying to get me to break the law to their advantage so they can get more money, or I can hurry up as a driver, or I can, to their advantage. They want you to break the law. The first one is unsafe lifting. Question: what is the biggest, what is the heaviest amount, heaviest load in this country that you can get someone to lift, that someone's obliged to lift on their own? Huh? Glad you know the answer. It's 25 kilos. Yeah, excuse me. It's 25 kilos. If something in this country is more than 25 kilos, you're supposed to be able to ask for help. So these are 2-man crews, and many items are below 25. So you can lift them, pass them to each other, boxes. But then there are many boxes that are 40 kilos, 43 kilos, 47 kilos, 49 kilos, 33 kilos. 33 is all right, even if you're not obliged to do it alone. So the teams, as I said in my last video, hope you've watched it. Sorry for the swearing in there. Looks like I started it, but actually he had been swearing at me a lot before I started to record it. He's been swearing and effing and threatening me, basically walking after me and get me back. So it went let loose. All right, unsafe lifting. In this company, the guys who are doing it, they will force you to lift 40 kilos on your own. They will force you to try a lift 49 on your own. If you ask for help, they are all so upset. So everyone's proving themselves how strong they are. Very long items. I don't want to mention what product and what company. I keep companies out of things normally. If it's a bad thing, I will not say. Good things I will. All right? Because I want actually plug for the companies that scratch my back. I'm going to start mentioning them. Anyway, unsafe lifting. The guys, I reached a point where one day, actually this was the last day. I reached somewhere, there were 5 items. All of them were 40 something. So we were taking them to the house. Yes, story time. We're taking them to a customer. By the way, on that one we had a tip. This was some celebrity. She was a celebrity, but I failed to get her name. I said the wrong name and she wasn't happy. But she tipped us. Anyway, take these 3 items. They're going upstairs. So the porter, you help the porter. You're obviously going to help the porter. In this one, you do help. Some jobs, they actually don't want the porter to help. This one, you do. So the porter wants me to take these 40s ground to to the point where he'll take them upstairs. I've done 2 of them, and the last 3, I feel like I can't. I don't want to pull anything on my back, and again have to drive safely. So actually, as a driver, you don't want to get too tired. You'll have trouble driving because you're tired. So I tell him, listen, come, let's do it together. Hold this side, I hold the other side. He says no. I said to him, either you do it yourself or we do it together. He throws a tantrum, call the office, do whatever. I call the office and tell one of the managers what's going on. The manager is just saying general things like, oh, you 2 guys are adults, you should get on with it. I'm asking him, can you tell this worker what we are trained and what he's obliged to do? You just mature people, what? I had to actually tell him it's 25. If it's over 25, you can't actually force someone to take it. Because if they do pull their muscles, you are to blame. The next thing, that's just a little example. There was a lot of unsafe lifting. The 2-man crew or 2-person crew, actually there were women as well. They're 2-person crew, but they haven't trained these 2 people to work together. Everyone has to prove themselves and take the heaviest items, or they get a lot of friction for the day. The next thing is smoking. You've seen the last video, or one of the last videos, where the guy was swearing at me, blah, blah, because of smoking. And this wasn't the first guy. I had another guy before where I didn't say anything. This particular guy was training me. He actually asked, no wonder I didn't say nothing, because this one asked, you don't mind if I smoke, I need to blah, blah, blah. The way he said it, halfway, I wasn't going to say nothing. The other one didn't ask. So he started to smoke. This guy started with e-cigarettes. After some time, he advanced to roll-ups, tobacco roll-ups. After roll-ups, later on in the day, he advanced to real cigarettes. By the time the day ended, my eyes were red. Itchy eyes, I had windows open. The problem when you open windows, you're dealing with the wind and the cold. So I had a bad day before I had to complain at the guy who I recorded. The other item that I have here, one of the biggest things that I left for, this was the final one, brake. At certain instance, I had been driving for 7 hours. I had been working for 7 hours, all right? We start at 5:30. This was 12:30. So I was tired, all right? I've had 15 minutes, and actually the law, this one about work, needs me to have 30 minutes within the next 2 hours, okay? Away from the driving, within the next 2 hours, I had to have 30 minutes. So I decided at a certain point, I'm gonna have my break now, I'm tired. What did the guy do? He fumed at me, who said that, and I had actually informed him. On the next drop, I will park and have a break. You can either wait for me, or I finish my break and we carry on. When I got there, that's what I did. He started it, opened the job, started it, and then he came looking at me. I thought, what? I'm on break, did I not tell you? Oh, you didn't remind me, blah, 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 blah. Come out. He's also shouting and fuming. This one is the so-called assistant, your porter, all right? So he calls them, and he puts them on the phone. I explained to the guy at the office what I'm doing. I said to him, what's wrong with that? I'm having a break, 30 minutes. He asked me, have you driven for 4.5 hours? I'd actually driven for 3 hours. So I needed another 1.5 hours by law to drive, but also 2 hours for the other rules, the work rules. So I was tired. It's not about the law. You cannot refuse a driver to take a break for safety. A new driver who you're training. So I even asked him, so if I crash this machine, is that a better situation? Or have my break? What's better? No. Carry on now, this, that. If you get to the office, I will need to talk with you. I asked him, what's your name, mate? He tells me his name. You sure you want me to do that? Yes. I said I'll be happy to come upstairs and we talk when I come back. Yeah, you crack on. I have my break. Afterwards, we carry on. All right? When I reach the yard, he disappears. He knows he's talking rubbish. He runs away. He sees me and walks into the other direction. The other way. All right? So that was the after that incident is when by the time I got to the house, before I left, I was wondering which managers want to speak with me about the warnings they've been telling me. By the time I reached the house, they had all informed me not to go back to the site. Okay? Now, getting tired, getting fired in this place, yeah, was actually an achievement. What I realized on talking with them is that many drivers are young guns. They recruit them as van men or porters. They take them through the HGV or LGV license, the CDL in America, they call it. They take them through it, and then they sign a 2-year contract. You're working for us for 2 years. Now these guys, as soon as they are drivers, they are fed up and they are stuck in the place. What do? They do outrageous things so that they get fired and can improve their jobs elsewhere. So on this particular job, everyone's acting weird because they're trying to get fired. Okay? Who's suffering is the new people who don't know what they do is going on, and the agencies. You get? So, according to me, and I've driven trucks for time in this country, over 15 years driving, okay, of trucks. I've actually never driven trucks in Africa. This, in my book, is the worst job that I've ever gone to here in Britain. Okay? I'm not talking to bash any, I'm not mentioning companies, but I've described what went on over there. I'm going to leave it at this, and I'm asking you to sub to this channel for more trucking content and other stuff, life lessons and travel and stuff else. Going to leave it at this. I want to go on and on. I want to say stay safe, God bless, love.